Hey, Nolan! It is June and you know the drill. We're coming up with the top 10 upcoming games within June. And let's see if you find some games you like or maybe something you have been waiting for a long time to come. Without further ado, let's begin the list.
Your lives.
Starting from the biggest one, Diablo IV is the newest title from Diablo franchise. Tells the story of Sanctuary where hell and heaven collide in eternal conflict, causing the world turn to a dark and grim universe as you see back in Diablo II. In the new title, there is 5 classes available at launch such as Barbarian, Druid, Necromancer, Rogue, and Sorcerer, which I have some gameplay here on the channel. This top-down action RPG sends you to an adventure of restoring peace after previously Lilith, the mother of Sanctuary, returns and intends to spread evil across the world. What makes the game different than the previous Diablo is now you can meet other players in towns, go to dungeons or trading stuff, and team up for the world bosses. Also, there is PvP available so you can test your skill against other players, which is something that previous Diablo doesn't have. The crafting system and the gearing are still the same, with some new additional skill and customization which is not that complex but still enjoyable for those who really into unique build or meta chaser out there. Diablo IV is available for pre-order now, so you can get 4-day early access and will be released on June 6, 2023 for Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC. By the way, additional info, do not skip the first cutscene.
Street Fighter VI is the latest installment in the popular fighting game series. It features a new graphic engine, a new fighting system, and a new story mode. Players can choose from a roster of over 20 characters, including returning favorites like Ryu and Chun-Li, as well as new characters like Luke and Jamie. The game is divided into 3 main modes: Fighting Ground, World Tour, and the Battle Hub. And let's talk about the new mechanics. We got the drive gauge, is a meter that fills up as you fight and can be used to perform special moves, cancels, and counters. With the new system, it's quite an adjustment, especially for veterans or those who are new to the game. Street Fighter VI is scheduled to be released on June 2nd, 2023 for PlayStation 5, PlayStation 4, Xbox Series X and S, and also PC Windows.
The top player is here. Let me have some fun.
Ready? Then show me.
This will be good.
Security, come with me.
McDonald just linked in. Told us you'd be stirring up trouble again.
Aliens Dark Descent is a new game that promised to deliver a thrilling and immersive experience in the world of iconic Alien franchise. The game is squad-based single-player action game that lets you command a team of Marines on a deadly mission to stop a xenomorph outbreak on Leti planet, which is infested with a lot of those creatures. You also have to use real-time tactics, strategic planning, and resource management to survive against hordes of enemies, including classic xenomorph, rogue human operatives, and new kind of creature that is unique to this Alien storyline. The game reminds me a lot of classic Alien shooter if you ever have the chance to play that masterpiece back in the day. But now you have a team to manage, and having teams means you gotta think about their roles in battle, or worse yet, their survival, since if some of them die, they die for good. And for that reason, the game allows you to return to hubs and manage your crew or upgrade their traits, since every member has their own abilities and uniqueness, which make your decision strategy matter. The game coming on June 20, 2023 on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC.
So it begins.
Yup, another year, another new MotoGP game. So let's check what's new in the MotoGP 23 version. The game will come with some new features like dynamic weather, and since the weather will be dynamic, it will affect the way the race play out. Flag-to-flag race will be introduced in the MotoGP 23, which means that race will continue even if it starts raining. Also, MotoGP 23 will feature crossplay, which means that players on different platforms can compete against each other. And there are new ranking races that will be introduced in MotoGP 23, which will allow players to compete against each other for the top spot on the leaderboard. The two players local split screen mode will return in MotoGP 23 too, which will allow players to race against each other on the same console. MotoGP 23 will be released on June 8, 2023 for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Nintendo Switch, and also PC.
23. It could be you. Ryan, can you hear me?
I'm here. You need to wear a tinfoil hat. Your son Henry...
This story-driven survival horror games is about a classic alien invasion that takes place during early 90s. This game reminds us back in the 90s, there were plenty of UFO sightings across the country, where evidence is quite hard to archive, but the story was told from one neighborhood to the other, which was kinda hard to believe, but it is what makes Alien Story a mystery everyone eagerly to listen and invested. In this game you play as Ryan Baker, equipped with baseball bat and few bullets in his revolver. The story takes you across the neighborhood of Greyhill, which is invaded by UFOs and grey aliens, and your task is to save a neighbor who is in serious trouble. You can find useful items, solve the puzzle, and meet other neighbors as you fight to survive the invasion. I do really like the thrilling environment of this game, which is dark and scary to explore, but that's what survival horror games are supposed to do. Mostly if you are followed by some creepy grey aliens, where it is better to hide from rather than engaging in fights since we don't know when or how they will kidnap us anyway. The game will be coming soon on June 9, 2023 on Xbox Series, PlayStation, and PC.
Layers of Fear is a narrative-driven approach to the horror. The game is not about fighting monsters or escaping traps, but about exploring the madness and creativity of the painters and his family. The game is a masterpiece of storytelling that will keep you hooked until the end. The game has two main mechanics, exploration and interaction. You will have to explore the ever-changing mansion, which is full of paintings, documents, objects, and memories that reveal more about the plot and the characters. You will also have to interact with various items and puzzles that will affect the environment and the outcome of the story. The game has multiple endings depending on your choice and action. If you're a fan of psychological horror games that focus on atmosphere, story, and exploration, then Layers of Fear is a game you should not miss. Pre-order it now for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation and get ready to face your fears on June 15, 2023.
Would you believe when I say Bandai Namco making a theme park simulator? Because it is what Park Beyond is. This is a Park Beyond, a game that lets you create and manage your own theme park with no limits. You can design and build rides that defy physics, customize your park with various themes and decorations, and attract guests with different preferences. The game features a story mode where you help a struggling park owner revive his business, as well as a sandbox mode where you can unleash your creativity and imagination. Who doesn't like creative mode these days? The game has stunning graphics, realistic physics, and a catchy soundtrack that will immerse you in the world of theme park creation. What I do like about this game is this is remind me of Roller Coaster Tycoon and The Sims so much. And by the way, the game is coming on June 16, 2023 on Xbox X and S, PlayStation 5, and PC.
Yo, so welcome back to the Crash Bandicoot universe. But wait, right now you will not play Crash Bandicoot like usual adventure, but you will play PvP with some strategies. Crash Team Rumble is a new 4 vs 4 multiplayer game that features the iconic character of the Crash universe. In this game, you and your team have to collect and bang more Wumpa fruit than your opponents, while also using your unique skill and ability to fight and defend. Featuring Crash Bandicoot, Coco Bandicoot, Tawna Bandicoot, Dr. Neo Cortex, Dr. Nitrous Brio, and many more. It will be released on June 20, 2023 for Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, PlayStation 4, and also PlayStation 5.
I believe many of those OG Harvest Moon players know this game or maybe despise the game. Story of the season is the same as Harvest Moon but with the name change for the franchise restriction. Anyway, This one is a remake of the same game back in PlayStation 2 Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. You still have the same gameplay with farming simulation, where you can grow crops, raise animals, socialize with people in town, and even start a family. There are still many events and minigames you can do in the game. Mostly, my most exciting activities: fishing and cooking, which I really suggest if you are bored. If you're really someone who is into Harvest Moon series or the farming genre in general, I believe this one is one of those games you should pick up. But let me give you my opinion about the game. Why is it still the same cheap graphics? And it felt unmotivated for world building by the dev. And I hope one day they literally step up for the game and make a huge change for the franchise. Since I believe it's been a decade and Story of the Season feels like another cheap copy of successful Harvest Moon back in the day. Anyway, the game is coming on June 27, 2023 on Xbox X and S, PlayStation 5, PC, and Switch.
Finally, the one most awaited game, Final Fantasy XVI by Yoshi P. The game will promise so many new things and it starts from system mechanics. The system mechanics will feature a new action-based combat system that is inspired by games like Devil May Cry and Kingdom Hearts. Players will be able to control Cliff Rosefield, the game protagonist, as you unleash devastating combo and magic spells against the enemies. Final Fantasy XVI will feature a number of new features that are not found in previous Final Fantasy games. This will feature a seamless open world that players can explore freely, plus a dynamic weather system. The weather in Final Fantasy XVI will be dynamic, and it will affect the way the battles play out. A deep crafting system, which make players will be able to craft their own weapons, armor, and items in Final Fantasy XVI. The game will be released on June 16, 2023, exclusively on PlayStation 5.
No matter how bitter the truth that awaits me, I will press on. And you can make it out.
This survival horror game is one of the Amnesia series, which took you to the World War I bunker to face the terror stalking in the dark corridor. I know we put Amnesia the bunker in the previous game of May, but they got delayed in the middle of the month, so it's coming on this June 6, 2023 on Xbox, PlayStation, and PC. The new expansion of Elder Scrolls Online introduced a new class of Arcanists. The Arcanist is a mage who can manipulate arcane energy and summon powerful creatures to aid them in combat. Player can also explore two new zones, the Telphany Peninsula and Hermias Moral's Realm. The expansion is part of Shadow over Morrowind adventure and continues a story that begins with the previous DLC. And it is coming on June 5th for PC and 20th for consoles. I think that's all for the June games. It is always good to have new games available for the month. Or might be, there is one of those games that will become your main for a long time. Or maybe, you're still craving for a new games which yet to be released. Stay tuned to the channel since we will bring fresh news and updates about gaming. And don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss out. If you like the list, make sure to hit that like button and tell us what game you think will be next big surprise for this year. It is us, No Left, signing out. Stay No Left, guys.